What's up everyone, my name is Nala Kamaluddin. I'm an immigration lawyer, and ever since I started practicing 4 years ago, everything in immigration went off the rails, and we need to talk about it. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about a very important issue that was absolutely downplayed by the media, and that is the new public charge rule, otherwise known as the wealth test. Simply put, the public charge rule is the government's way of making sure that someone who's applying for a green card is not going to end up relying on public benefits. They don't want you to apply for a green card and then end up going on welfare. And before I start, I need to say something. There's a huge misconception out there that all immigrants do is rely on public benefits and take money from the government and cost the government money. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. It's all total BS. But let's move on. The way the government implemented this public charge rule in the past is whenever you are applying for a green card, all you needed to do is find a financial sponsor who makes more than 125% of the federal poverty guidelines, and as long as they can prove that is their income and they're willing to sponsor you, then you should be fine. And that makes sense. I mean, if you find a sponsor who's willing to take care of you and make sure that you're financially okay as you move into this new country, then it should be good for purposes of making sure that you're not going to be a public charge or rely on public benefits. However, this administration decided that that is not enough. And last February, it implemented this new rule after so much litigation and getting sued in courts all over the US, where it decided that it's not enough to just look at the financial sponsor's income, but it also has to look into the immigrant and whether they have the ability to become self-sufficient. And the way they're going to do that is by looking at a very long and ridiculous list of factors to determine whether that immigrant is self-sufficient. So let's look at some of these factors and you tell me if that makes any sense. The first factor is whether the immigrant knows the English language. It sounds reasonable, but when you really think about it, I don't really understand why that should be a requirement. And in some situations, that is probably almost impossible. Imagine petitioning for your 75-year-old mom and forcing her to learn English before she moves to the United States. It's just not going to happen. The second thing that the government is going to be looking into is the immigrant's credit score. Also sounds reasonable at first, but most immigrants don't even have a credit score, or if they do, because they haven't been in the US for long enough, they don't have good credit. And just think about it. How many people do you know around you, friends and family, who don't necessarily have good credit, but they have good jobs, they're able to pay their bills? It doesn't mean that they're going to go on welfare anytime soon. So I don't understand why, if your wife swiped her Macy's card a few too many times when she was doing her Christmas shopping, why that now all of a sudden makes her ineligible to get a green card. The third thing the government is going to be looking into is the immigrants' debts and liabilities, and that includes mortgages, it includes car loans, it includes student loans, and I don't really understand why that would be considered a negative factor that would prevent someone from being able to reunite with their families and get that green card. How many people do you know, especially all the people who went to school and college, who have a lot of student loans, like hundreds of thousands of dollars? That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not able to also get a job and pay their bills. So the fact that they consider whether you have student loans and car loans as, a factor that determines your self-sufficiency is, to me, completely, it doesn't make any sense. The fourth thing the government is going to be looking into is the immigrants' health insurance coverage and whether they have any serious medical conditions. So not only are they looking at, whether there's going to be some kind of health insurance for this person, but they're also looking further into how sick is this person and whether that specific health plan is going to cover those conditions and whether there's enough coverage. And if you know anything about health insurance plans, they tend to be extremely complicated, I don't personally understand it. I don't understand the deductibles and all these different things that the government is going to be now looking into to make sure that you are properly covered for whatever medical condition you have. And that further complicates the process, and unnecessarily so. You don't need to have the perfect health insurance coverage to become a self-sufficient person. And healthcare in the United States is extremely expensive. Health insurance plans are extremely expensive. So again, those people who are middle to lower class are not going to be able to prove with ease that they are going to be self-sufficient if they now have to prove all these different factors. And these are just a few of the factors that the government has listed that it's now going to be looking into. I mean, the green card process is supposed to be a happy process where families get reunited, married couples, a person with their older parents, if they want to bring them here so that they can take care of them, their children. It really is supposed to be a joyful, happy process, and it has now turned into this monster that is extremely burdensome and almost, extremely complicated and difficult to achieve for a lot of people, especially those in the middle to lower class. And because of all the work involved, now attorneys have to charge more money for their time, and rightfully so. And this is yet another brick in the invisible wall that Trump is trying to build to exclude as many immigrants as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts. If you want me to do more videos like this, please like, share, and comment, and have a good day.